Looks like I have to talk about Angular again. Didn't think this would happen, but they had quite the reveal. If you're not already familiar, the newest Angular release, they change everything from the logo to the component model to the way things update. And it's a huge shift, and it's really exciting to see. I haven't seen a framework upend itself like this in a while. And as much as I know it's going to cause pushback in the community, it does seem like it's for good reason and in the right direction. So against my better judgment, let's talk a bit about this new Angular release. So one of the big parts of this new Angular experience is their new Angular homepage, which took a bunch of inspiration from what the React team did with the new docs overhaul. I think they went a good bit further with it. Obviously, they have the super pretty, fancy animations with everything. I do love the new logo and the new color scheme, I'm not going to lie. It is really nice. So here's an example component using all the fancy new stuff. We have component from Angular core, forms module from forms, and then bootstrap application, which is the actual thing that gets the app to run. You have the selector, the template, because again, everything is templatized and kind of MVC'd, where it's not returning the template, it's grabbing all of this context from the model that exists when you define a component. And here we're saying that this input is bound to the ng model with the key name as a placeholder. And now when I input is going to update the model's name value, so I can then render it in the template here. And the forms module is the thing that allows all of this to get bound. So there's a lot of implicit stuff going on here, which is still what I'm most concerned about with Angular, where like the behavior isn't really described here. I don't love this example for that reason, because this isn't saying this happens, then this happens, then this happens. It is defining an object, in this case, a component, that through its imports has implicit behaviors assigned to it. And then your template defines how those things interface, kind of. It's weird. So let's start with the announcement blog post. I will say, Emma's absolutely killing it. She's done a great job as, I don't know what her specific role is, but she's been helping a ton with Angular's branding, community outreach, and everything in between. And I'm even chatting with her now. She's killing it on that front. So huge shout out to Emma for the work she is doing to make Angular more digestible. Angular first launched in 2016 as a way to help developers build modern web applications. Throughout its history, Angular has made millions of developers successful. Over the past several releases, we focus on improving performance and developer experience on the modern web. Our momentum includes a revamp of Angular's reactivity system, SSR, and dozens of additional features. Later this week, we will release Angular 17, including deferred views, built-in control flow, view transition API support, SSR enhancements, and more. This renaissance deserves a modern identity that represents the velocity and stability of our team and what we're committed to. Today, we're excited to launch Angular.dev, the future home for Angular developers. Ooh, the light mode's actually nice. Here's what we're talking about: the new docs, embedded tutorials. Cool. I want to see the performance numbers. Did they mention any of this here? No, just, these logos are actually really cool. The performance win here is nuts. And I almost want to refilm the intro to talk about how Angular is now technically the fastest framework. The new Angular logo represents our goals: stability and velocity. Stability isn't controversial. Angular will always be reliable and backwards compatible. Angular, yes. AngularJS, no. But yes, Angular has definitely been better about backwards compatibility. Only recently has the velocity begun to shine. But don't trust me, check out the public benchmarks. Yeah, in the screenshot, they picked the major versions of a lot of popular frameworks. And I'm just realizing now they intentionally didn't put Solid in here. That's a little sketch, because Solid still wins. Solid still reigns champ. But against all these other things, cool. Yeah, row swap is brutal for React, but everything else React's doing okay nowadays. Also interesting to see clear rows performing worse than it does in React. But yeah, she included Solid in a reply. Cool. That's pretty damn fast. Turns out moving to a signal-based approach where you're updating your view without re-rendering everything is actually quite a bit faster. So that all checks out. Just interesting to see the choice of not including Solid. That feels somewhat intentional. Not a big deal. She replied with it. This initial screenshot definitely feels like they picked the popular frameworks that they know they're faster than. Also, Vue 336 being faster than Svelte 4 is interesting. I know Vue's been working hard on all that stuff, but that's pre-Vapor, which is very interesting. So yeah, Angular now is much more performant. Angular now has a much better brand. They have docs that are up to date. And I'll be honest, I still hate their syntax. It's a lot of progress. Things are much better, but I still think declarative methods of describing things are what has been working well for us as web developers. And I still think the more OO binding implicit behaviors by including specific pieces isn't the best for full stack scalable applications. I'm excited to see Angular making all of these strides in the right direction, less because I think it will help us be better web developers, more because I think there's so many code bases trapped on Angular that are massive, with hundreds, if not thousands of engineers contributing to them, that are going to benefit so greatly from this. Both the performance wins possible and the better developer experience that they'll have working with it. So even if I'm still not interested in Angular, this is a massive, massive step forward for the entirety of the web. And I'm very excited to see the performance wins on big Angular-based services I use, like YouTube itself. So what do you guys think? Are you excited about Angular again? You going to go play with this new release, or are you going to take a step back and smile for them, but not pay too much attention? Because this is probably my last Angular video for a while, but I am really proud of the progress that they have made. If you want to see my second to last Angular video, I'll pin that in the corner there. If you've already seen it, you want to watch something else, YouTube thinks you'll like the video underneath it. Appreciate y'all a ton. Thank you guys as always. Talk to you soon. Peace, nerds.